Hello everyone, and welcome to The Aisle Between, where wedding vendors and engaged couples meet in the middle. This is the podcast where real DFW wedding professionals come together to answer the questions brides are actually asking and help you plan your wedding day with confidence. My name is Mariah Andrews, a DFW wedding photographer, and I'll be your host. And today I'm here with
Victoria Davidenko of Alabaster Hall. Yes, a wedding and event venue in Hurst, Texas.
one of the newest ones.
Yes,
How exciting.
brand new.
Yeah. Okay, for those who don't know, she's all over TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and it started out as this little like I don't know, what was it?
A warehouse.
Okay, that's what it looked like, but I
Yeah.
was like, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Started out with this little warehouse, and she's popping up AI images of what it's gonna look like, and like now it's the thing. Like that's
Yeah.
so exciting.
It only took us a year of remodel.
That's crazy.
But we're finally here. Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me a little bit about you. What do you do? Why?
Yeah. Well, I've been in the wedding and event industry for 10 years.
Okay.
And I've always had a dream of opening up an event venue. And my husband also comes from a real estate investor background. So we have, the event industry and we have the real estate side of it. So when we found this property, it was just kind of, it made sense. It made sense. And we had the know-how to be able to turn it into what I had in my head.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it took us a whole year from concept to bringing it to fruition, but we're here.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. We're very excited.
Yeah, I'm so ready to come out and see it in person because love watching the videos, but
Thank you.
in person's different. So why did you get into the wedding industry in general?
It started with my own wedding. I feel like that's the case for a lot of our vendor partners is I was a DIY bride. We got married really young. I've been married for 11 years, and I was like 19, 20 planning my wedding, and I decided I wanted to do my own flowers. And so I started researching, and I'm somebody that once I'm passionate about something, I just go head first. And I want to learn everything. So I learned how to do floral. I did my own wedding flowers. I loved the process. And so when I moved over here to Texas, so I was from South Carolina, my husband was from Texas. I moved here and I started looking at internships with other florists and where I could actually learn and further my education because it ignited a passion in me. So I started freelancing. I did a couple internships. I opened my own floral design company. It was more of a hobby than anything. I didn't know anything about business at that point. I did have an LLC, but that's probably the extent of the business part of it. But I got to experience the industry and fall in love with it and work with some really incredible vendors and some really wonderful clients. And I've seen everything from like the DIY bride to like the $40,000 floral budget weddings, and there's just so much that I've learned. And I knew when I wanted to start my own thing that I had a lot of know-how and things that I would do differently.
Okay, so what's the mission of Alabaster Hall? Why is it different than every other wedding venue in DFW?
So the way that we differentiate, words are hard.
It's okay, I get it.
What sets us apart is that we have an open vendor policy. So a lot of the venues here in Dallas-Fort Worth, they are basically one type of venue where you have to use all of their vendors. You have to use everybody that they've already pre-chosen for you. And it's very burdensome on the couples because a lot of them can't make it their own. They're kind of locked into certain either packages or styles, and they don't have that freedom and ability to be able to make it their own. So that was one of the things that really sets us apart is we allow couples to create whatever it is that they're imagining for their space. If they wanted to do a more like modern industrial style, they absolutely could. Or if they wanted to do like the Western Texas, that style, like you have the freedom to be able to create whatever you want in that space. And our couples love it. They love it. They want the freedom. They want to choose their own vendors, their own cuisines. We get a lot of people that from very diverse backgrounds. So different types of couples where they say like, we want a very specific type of food. Can we bring in this vendor? And we say, of course. You can bring whoever you want. You can create whatever kind of event you're imagining. Because there's not like a one size fits all when it comes to events.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's the whole thing in weddings.
Yes.
It's your wedding. Make it whatever you want.
Exactly.
So yes, venues should definitely be like that. And if they're not, come check out Alabaster Hall. A little shameless plug.
Yes.
What is something that couples commonly misunderstand when it comes to wedding venues?
Oh, this is a good one. Commonly misunderstand or misconceptions. I think a lot of people think that venues are unnecessarily expensive.
Yeah.
And I do understand that. There are a lot of venues that are very, very expensive.
Yeah.
And I think that's, again, one of the things that sets us apart is that we're priced significantly lower because we don't have all these requirements for you. We give you that freedom.
Yeah.
I think people assume that venue owners are greedy and that they just want, to charge you whatever they can. And there is that in the industry.
Definitely are some.
There definitely is that, but venues also have they carry the most liability out of every single vendor. You're the one that's housing all these different people.
Yeah.
And this is a lot of the things that I have to explain to my couples is when they ask me like, well, why do you have this rule or why do you have this policy? It really comes down to liability.
Yeah.
And we have a tremendous amount of overhead when it comes to venues. So I think people assume that the venue is the most expensive thing because they can just charge whatever they want. But in reality, our insurance rates are through the roof because you are hosting 200, 300, 400, 500 people in your space. And you have to be ready to take whatever life throws at you, know. And same with you sometimes run across bad vendors that just are not good at their job and cause issues or cause damage, and you have to be prepared for that as well.
Yeah. Which honestly, that makes sense because I have fallen into that era of the whole venues are expensive for no reason.
Yeah.
But that makes sense. You guys you house so many people.
Yes.
You kind of got to keep them safe.
Exactly.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Like the insurance is like one part of it, but then like to take care of a building, like our building is 12,000 square foot.
Yeah.
So to take care of a space that large, you need full-time staff. You need somebody that's cleaning constantly every single week. You have somebody that is doing tours, several people doing tours.
Yeah.
You have, maintenance people. We just had a plumbing emergency where, it's a $2,000 bill.
Jeez.
And these things pop up all the time. And you have to be ready and you have to be prepared. And I think people just assume that, you just
because
make
they
up,
want money.
Yeah, you just make up some sort of numbers, but really, like we have a tremendous overhead.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, what is the biggest mistake that couples make when trying to plan their wedding?
Not reading vendor contracts. I see this all the time. Unfortunately, people just don't read the contracts. They're excited. They find a vendor that they love and they don't do their research. They don't actually open up the contract. And with us specifically, we worked with a lawyer to draft up our contract, and it's very, very thorough. It's 17 pages in total.
Jeez.
And I know that can be intimidating for a lot of people to sit there and read through all of it, but it is so important. And it prevents a lot of unnecessary, uncomfortable conversations down the road.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You're good.
It prevents a lot of unnecessary and uncomfortable conversations down the road if you just do the research and read through the contracts that you're signing.
Yeah.
And I just wish more people would do it. And you'd be surprised. So many people, we have to resend them their own contract that they signed. And it's like, hey, like it says it in this.
Don't forget.
Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because those contracts, man, they keep us safe.
Yes.
But there are also stuff in there because
they hold us accountable, and it goes two ways. Like the contracts, they're there to protect the client and they're protect the venue.
Yeah.
So it's like if you need to know that your venue is doing their part, and you need to make sure that you're doing your part.
Yep.
And that's what it's there for.
Yeah, which makes sense. I like it.
Yeah.
What is so if you can only come up with one, that's fine. But can you give me 3 of the things that couples should look for when they're touring a wedding venue?
Open vendor policy.
Okay.
I think that it really depends on what kind of like bride or couple you are. Most people, they want the flexibility.
Yeah.
But there are those couples where they want to
Give
be
it to me.
hands off. They
Yeah.
want to be hands off. They just want to show up on the big day and call it a day. So I would say the majority want that flexibility. So look for an open vendor policy.
Okay.
I would also look for a space that is conveniently located.
Yes.
Because you got to consider your guests. And if they're traveling or if they're coming from other places, you want them to be able to access the venue easily.
Yeah.
I know that our area specifically is very condensed in the middle of Dallas-Fort Worth, and so a lot of these venues do build far out.
Yes.
And it's fortunate because they have, you know, very beautiful space. They have like an estate or like a large property, but at the same time, like your guests are having to drive an hour 30 minutes. Your vendors, like if something is forgotten, it becomes a whole ordeal.
Yeah. It's not like you can turn around and grab your dress. You forgot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would say the location, I would say open vendor policy, and then flexible times. This is another thing that I see very often with venues. They say you can only come at this time and you have to leave at this time.
Yeah.
And our couples really want some flexibility.
Yeah.
If they want to start later and end later, they can. If they want to be done by 10:30, like I'm all for that. Like we have do that.
Yeah.
So I would say flexibility.
Yeah. Okay. What's something that people tend to be surprised about when they come into Alabaster Hall?
I mean, the biggest comment that we get is people think the space is smaller, and so when they come inside, they're always like really shocked by how large and expansive our space is.
Yeah.
And that's to our space specifically, but they love just the sheer amount of space that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the one TikTok that you did that you're in the front and then you go all the way to the back and then you come back through.
Yes,
That one,
yes.
yeah. You can see the depth just in that one video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the videos don't do it justice.
No.
When you come inside, especially like when you enter through our front door, it's a much narrower entrance.
Yeah.
And so when you walk in, it's really expansive.
Cool.
It's a lot of floor to clean. I'll say that. I'll say that.
Yeah, I would not want to be one of your cleaning people.
No. And sometimes it's me, and yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that would be one of the bad things about being a venue owner.
Yes.
All that extra. Oh, okay. What are some hidden costs or fees that couples should ask about before signing a contract?
Cleaning fees is a big one. Service charges, credit card fees. There is so much, really. And you'd be surprised. I just heard of a venue recently where they allowed the couple to basically bring in their own caterer. They wanted a specific caterer. And then by the time it's like a week before, they realize, oh, they're going to charge us an extra $7,000 because they are requiring us to use their staff to serve the food.
Okay.
And so these are things that you need to be asking.
Yeah.
You know, what other fees? If there's not going to be any surprises.
Yeah.
We try to be very transparent. We offer our couples something that we call an estimate, and we give them that right after their tour, where essentially it's like, this is the bottom line of what you're going to pay.
Yeah.
There is no surprises. There's not a bill coming down the road or, 30 days before or anything. This is what you pay. This is how much is due. There's no surprises.
Yeah.
And we don't do additional cleaning fees. We build it into our cost. So couples are not shocked when it's time to pay and they're like, oh, wait, you didn't tell me about, the service charge or cleaning fee or, 3% credit card fee or anything like that. Everything's included in the price. And I think couples appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because if you have a certain price in your mind and you're budgeting for it, and then you go to pay and it's something completely different, it feels disingenuous to the couple.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We didn't get married at a venue, but I remember looking and, they're like, oh, yes, here's this and here's this. And then, but also.
Yes.
That's,
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, all those hidden fees.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. How far in advance should they book? Not just at Alabaster Hall, but because I know y'all are booking out.
Yes.
In general, someone looking for a venue in DFW, how far in advance should a bride be looking?
A good rule of thumb is 12 to 18 months ahead of time.
Okay.
I will say it really depends on what kind of couple you are.
Okay.
If you're a type A and you have a very specific date that you want, I would say 2 to 3 years ahead of time.
Okay.
If you're somebody that you're just looking to get married and you don't really care what date, you're just looking to whatever is available, really, you can do it in a year.
Yeah.
Like, I would not recommend going lower than that, because we do get those couples that ask for last minute things, and it's just you don't have the availability.
Yeah.
And we get so many people, especially for the upcoming fall season. They're like, "Can we do something in 3-4 months?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Everything's booked."
I feel like most people want to get married in the fall.
Yes.
And so, yeah, like I have fall's pretty booked for me.
Yes.
Versus spring was a little bit lighter.
Yes.
Because going with allergies. Nobody wants to be all sneezy.
I feel like North Texas, the springs can be very unpredictable. We have, tornado season, we have hail season, we have the rainy season.
There's a chance it's going to snow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people tend to go fall.
Yeah.
It's a little bit safer.
It's a little warm, but it's fine.
Yeah. We just deal with the heat, and I've accepted it.
Yeah. I was not meant for Texas. Born and raised here, and I was not meant for it. I'm definitely not a heat person.
Yeah, my husband's born and raised in Texas, and he's like, "Man, why do we live here?"
Exactly. Yeah. We just went up to Missouri this past weekend, and I was like, I could live here.
Yeah.
This is nice. Because when we left, it was 70 and the high was 80.
Yeah.
And it was already 80 degrees here.
I just saw something on the news. I think it was like in the UK or somewhere. They're like dealing, I think it was Paris. They're dealing with a heat wave, and it was like 82 degrees. I'm like, what heat wave?
Okay, but here's the thing, because we went to France in March, and they don't have AC.
That's the thing.
That was the thing. Like, so we had to sleep with our window open, and it was so hot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it, because we at least have AC, but there was no AC there. So, all right. But it's not that hot.
Yes.
Yeah, we get 100, triple digits, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, we got distracted.
You're fine.
Okay, if a couple was trying to save money, where can they cut costs without sacrificing the guest experience? It doesn't just have to be venue, if you want to look at something else wedding-wise.
I would say the biggest thing that you can do to cut cost is sheer guest count. So you can create a beautiful experience for your guest by maybe not inviting as many people.
That's smart, honestly.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think too many people don't prioritize their guests.
Yeah.
And they kind of put their experience last. And I think that's a huge mistake. I don't think couples should do that. I think you guys should be thinking about their guests first.
Yeah.
But if you can lower that final number, going from 300 people to 150 people, I mean, you're almost doubling. You're over doubling the amount that you're going to spend on food, on decor, on everything. It's going to be double.
Yeah.
So that's one way to cut, is just by inviting less people.
Smart.
Yeah.
Look at you. Listen, the other vendors, I'm not bashing any of them because I agreed with them.
Yeah.
They all talked about, like, you don't need paper goods, you don't need this, you don't need that. Just don't invite as many people.
Yeah.
It's smart.
Yeah. I mean, really, going from 300 to 350, you're cutting your costs in half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So figure out the people that you actually want there.
Yes.
I like it. Very smart.
Yeah.
Okay. In your opinion, how much does the venue itself affect the overall wedding timeline?
I think it plays a huge part.
Okay.
You have to consider load-in times. I mean, when I worked as a wedding florist, we've done weddings in like the beautiful downtown Dallas hotels.
Yeah.
And you got to think about logistics. Like it feels like the most complicated thing ever. Like for your vendors to be able to come in on time, to be able to start on time, like everything has to be thought through. So if you're trying to stick to a certain timeline, the venue is gonna either make it or break it for you.
Yeah.
With our space, we have a single story, and people tell us all the time, like, wow, loading, we have like 4 different places where you can load and unload.
Yeah.
And it's all on one story. So you're not having to go upstairs, you're not having to go up elevators, and it really makes everybody stay on track.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have vendors that show up 2 hours late and this and that, but there's as far as our portion, like, we're doing everything to make sure that everybody's on time.
Yeah. I feel like it also helps with just the natural flow of the day, because if you're one story, and with it being, in the middle of DFW, it's all in the same spot. You can't get lost.
Yeah. We just had an event this past Saturday, and the bartender showed up 2 hours late after dinner, and it was
close.
Yeah, so it was unfortunate. Like, they were still able to serve and they were still had it. It just got delayed. But if you're dealing with like downtown Dallas traffic and you're having to go up, a freight elevator, and you're trying to find the secret passageway to get to the right floor, and it all plays a part.
Yeah,
it's all part of the overall experience.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're definitely right. What is a question that you wish every couple would ask during a venue tour, but nobody really ever does?
This one might take some time to think through. What are the requirements for the vendors? Like, what are the requirements for the vendors?
Okay.
Because I think a lot of people assume if you have an open vendor policy, that means that you can just bring whoever you'd like.
Yeah.
And that, unfortunately, is not true.
Okay.
We require professional vendors, meaning somebody that is insured.
Okay.
And somebody that, if they're serving food, have to have their food handler's permit.
As they should.
And then if it's a bartending, they have to have their TABC.
Yeah.
And some people just assume open vendor policy, I can bring my friend to do the bartending, I can, have my mom cook the food.
Yeah.
And what they don't understand is the amount of liability that then falls onto the venue.
Yeah.
Because if somebody were to get sick, if something were to happen, they don't understand that it could possibly shut down my entire business by doing that. So it comes back to the conversation about reading the contracts.
Yeah.
Where you don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation when the couple thought they were going to save $5,000 by cooking the food at home, and then we have to be the bad guys and say, no, I'm sorry, we're not permitting that per our contract.
Yeah.
And I wish more people, we do our part whenever we do our tours to educate people that, we do have an open vendor policy, but you are required to use professional vendors that are insured and that do carry their proper permits for whatever it is their job is. And those things they're really in place for the safety of the couple and their guests. There's been situations where people have gotten sick, that people's property gets damaged, and there is nobody to take accountability for that. There is no insurance policy to cover it. Yeah. And so then it falls back onto the owner to eat those costs. Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, well, what's a question that you get asked often? Because that was one you wish got asked. So what's one you wish got asked, or does actually get asked often?
That's even a harder question.
Listen, I'm trying to get you to think here.
Yeah. What's the number one question we get asked? I think the number one question that we get asked is, do I need to get insurance for the wedding? And the answer is always yes. Yeah, you do need insurance. And what couples don't realize is that the number one reason that people have to take out or file a claim with an insurance company is due to cancellations. Yeah. And really, that's going to protect them first more than it protects us. And the policy is in their name. It's there for their best interest. So I think when we mention insurance, people are always kind of like, well, do I need it? Is it like, do I have to? And the answer is always yes. Yes. You absolutely need it.
It's better to have it than not.
Yes. Yeah, it all comes back to liability. And, if something were to happen and they have to cancel last minute, dad gets into the hospital, or the bride gets sick, or whatever the instance is, you have that insurance policy to protect you and eat those costs that are associated with it. It's 100% worth it. It's like under $300. Excuse me. It's under $300 for this insurance policy, and it protects you up to $1 million. It's like the best use of your money. Yeah,
especially because you might not need it. Okay, $300 in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. Okay, I'll take it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. Very smart. From your perspective, what makes a wedding day run smoothly versus feeling stressful?
Having somebody in charge other than the bride.
Yes.
Yeah. We don't have a required day of coordinator or a planner.
Okay.
But we highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I think everybody should have either like a type A best friend or a professional wedding planner, just somebody, a coordinator, even
Somebody
if it's
not involved in the wedding party.
Exactly. Because there's always going to be something that comes up.
Yes.
And you don't want to have to bug the couple. You don't want to have to go to the bride and say, hey, excuse me, one of your guests is drinking in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Like, we need to go get that addressed. There's always stuff that pops up, and it's always an uncomfortable conversation when you have to interrupt their day to deal with those things. So we always recommend it. We don't require it, but you should definitely have someone else in charge.
Yeah. Do you have someone there that you can offer if they want somebody?
So our staff is primarily there just for the venue. So they're there to make sure that everything's running smoothly, that everyone's following all the rules, that if there's a spill, it's getting cleaned up. But we don't do any of the planning.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're not coordinating the day of, we're not setting out decor, we don't have any of that.
Okay.
Yeah, we like to be hands-off in that approach.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. So then they can do what they want to do, make it literally their own.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, what's one wedding trend that you're loving right now and that you think couples should do, but like don't pressure them to do it?
I love the heavy draping. I think it's like the 90s coming back. Like I remember my mom had like heavy draped curtains, and like I had a bassinet growing up that just was like draped in all of this like pinched pleat fabric, and I'm like, I love this trend.
Yeah.
I love the heavy drapery trend. I can't wait for some of our couples I know are doing it. I can't wait to get those photos back of our space. Yeah. And the ceiling installations, those are also beautiful. I love those.
Okay, what's a trend that you would very much like to go away?
There is that trend with what is the color? It's like chartreuse and it's like that lime green color that everybody is doing. I just feel like it's so...
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about.
It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. I love the combination, but it's going to be so dated. It's going to be like, oh, you got married 2026. Like, everyone's going to know that, and I like a more timeless feel. I like something that is not time period dated. Yeah. That
makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought the color chartreuse for the longest time was pink, like a shade of pink.
I had never heard of that color until this trend started.
Yeah. Well, that's when I realized, oh, okay, JK, it's green. I thought it was pink.
Which we wanted to do a styled shoot using those colors, but I'm like, well, it's because we're trying to appeal to the brides of today and of the next year. But it's not something I would personally, put on my wedding where those photos are going to live for the rest of your life.
I get it. Okay. If you could give every engaged couple, so this is our last question. We're going to do one more, and then at the end we will have some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
Okay. If you could give every engaged couple in DFW one piece of advice, what would it be? Give me two pieces, one that's wedding specific and then one that's venue specific.
If you're not a type A person, find a type A person to help you.
Okay.
Yeah. Whether that is hiring a planner or using somebody in your circle that is type A.
Yeah.
Because you really do need that person on your day of with the big binder that is going to get everything done. And I was a very type 2 bride, and there's so many things that just went wrong just because I didn't care. Yeah. And I wish I cared more now, but
I didn't then.
Yeah, I didn't then. Yeah, so it's always good to, if you're not a type A person, find a type A person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now what about venue specific advice?
Venue specific.
It can be like when they're booking their venue, when they're trying to figure out which venue to even go tour, anything.
I would say it's similar to my first answer, to have a type A person. There is an incredible amount of paperwork and logistics that go into wedding planning.
Okay.
So you need to make sure that you've lined up all of your vendor insurances, all of their permits. You need to for a venue, we ask for all of those documentation. So it's incredibly time consuming for the couple whenever they're having to collect all of this documents and build these timelines, and they're working on the floor plan. It's very labor intensive for the couple, and it's helpful to have somebody in your corner that's kind of mitigating some of those responsibilities. So like we use a tool for planning your floor plan. It does take some time to sit there and to build it out. And if you're somebody that works full time and you have responsibilities, and maybe you have kids, maybe you have a family, maybe you have other things going on, it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to stay on top of those tasks. And then reading those contracts.
Listen, I heard this, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard this person uses ChatGPT. They copy contracts, put it into chat, and then have it point out any of the highlighted information they need to know. Do you think yours would work like that?
I do that all the time. It's like, hey, here's this super legal document that I'm going to have, difficulty reading. Just give me the bullet points. What do I need to know? Condense it down for me, make it, simplify it. I think everybody should be doing that.
Listen, Chat's my best friend. Her name is Mabel.
Mabel, okay.
Yes, we talk about all the things. So I definitely will be using Chat from now on for that. Okay, then we got some rapid fire questions. They're based in Texas. I have to preface that apparently. Texas, don't think about it. Just give me your first answer. Okay. Indoor or outdoor wedding?
Indoor, 100%.
Is it because it's hot?
Yes.
Okay.
The weather, we deal with extremes here.
I agree. When it's hot, I'm definitely indoor because I don't do outdoor, but any other day, outdoor. Spring or fall wedding?
Fall.
Yes. Okay. I'm guessing your answers. I'm agreeing with you, not saying you're right. Biggest wedding pet peeve? You're thinking too hard.
Not being organized.
Hey. That's
chaos.
Okay.
I don't like chaos.
Yes. Type A person. Most underrated wedding trend?
Vows at the altar.
Okay.
I feel like it's been happening more and more, and I love it. I was like, everybody should be doing vows at the altar. It wasn't a thing when I was getting married. I don't know why.
Honestly, I love private vows. The first look in the private vows.
Something that's specific to your partner that's relevant.
Okay. One wedding expense that's worth every penny?
Upgrading your chairs.
Okay. That's a unique one.
I feel like that's the thing that's going to instantly elevate your space. We're fortunate where we have really good chairs. But I see some of the venues and I'm like, I know you bought the cheapest ones. And like, I get it. It's a big expense to invest into chairs, but I think it really transforms the space when you go from like the plastic folding chairs to a nicer, more substantial chair.
Especially when you got to sit in it, when you got one that's got a little bit of cushion to it. Okay. One thing couples should stop worrying about?
It's hard. What other people think?
I need you to know that is a consensus across all the wedding vendors that I have met with. What other people think. It doesn't matter. Just do what feels right to you, that feels genuine. I agree. All right. Well, thank you so much.
So nice. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right. Hope you guys learned a lot. If you are not already, make sure you are following Alabaster Hall on Facebook.
We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok's the big one.
Yes. That's where I see her all the time. What is your handle so they can find you?
At Alabaster Hall.
Okay. Perfect. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks.